It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
And welcome to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show, but none of them are here, so you get Stick, you get Flannel Sam, you got JB, you got Fletch, and of course Adam Morrissey in the building. Thank you guys for being a part of woodwardsports.com in the chat. Make sure you drop your comment, let us know what you're thinking today, and of course everybody watching on fox2detroit.com. Listen, we're a day away from New Year's Eve.
Yes.
The Lions are playing New Year's Day. Michigan is playing in a little more than 24 hours. 26 hours to be exact.
Yes.
Lots of stuff going on here. Lots of stuff to discuss. Killian Hayes, I still want to talk about that. Him throwing a punch 2 nights ago. Got him and about 11 players suspended.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. There's just a ton going on. Plus, we're going to want to hear from you today, too. We're going to open up the phone lines to everybody because at the end of the show, we want to do a year in review, talking about all your favorite Detroit sports memories from 2022 and just kind of all your memories from 2022. Sam, I know one of yours is probably going to be getting married, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for anybody who's been married, you kind of know the sort of like emotional charged day that it is, and the fact that I felt all those emotions, the fact that I really feel like it was the best day of my life so far.
Really?
Until maybe Michigan wins the Natty this year. But the fact that I feel that way, it lets me know that I have the right person. And I've had no doubt about that since then. Best day of the year so far for me. What about you, Stick?
The best day of my year in 2022?
Of your year in 2022, yeah.
Probably when I finalized my divorce.
Hey!
Contrary to you.
Life.
Yeah, you're happy for the beginning. I was happy for the end. Obviously not happy that it ended, but you know what? Sometimes things happen in life.
Yes.
You got to take your hits, you move on, and you live happily ever after, and so far things have been going out real well. But, honestly, we're going to talk about all of this at the end of the show, do our 2022 in review. But really, not to get too sentimental, but just watching the growth of Woodward Sports and woodwardsports.com and just bringing on new people like you were new this year.
Yes.
We found you while we were doing pregame shows with the Riff last football season and brought Flannel Sam on aboard. JB, another guy that got brought on this year. So just the continued growth of this entire network, and just very proud of what we are achieving here and what everybody likes about Woodward Sports. We're just kind of a gritty Detroit sports coverage. That's it. That's all we are. Yeah. You may hate some of us. You may not like some of our opinions. You may get butthurt when I post girls on our Twitter, which, by the way, go check out our Twitter at Woodward Sports.
Speaking of which.
Do you see the negative pushback I get every time I feature a woman on Twitter?
I have seen that, and I agree with the pushback that you gave. And what'd you call them? Betas?
They are betas.
They are betas.
They were raised by betas.
Beta.
They were. If you're offended by the woman figure and you're offended by us promoting women, I don't know what to tell you. Then I'm sorry.
You know what, Stick, and that kind of speaks to having you here as sort of our captain, our quarterback. Is that you are kind of unapologetically yourself. I never have to feel like that I have to sort of conform to anything or worry about what I'm going to say stuff controversial and get in trouble, like Ben Wallace, for example. Nobody likes me for that take.
Nobody does, but you're allowed to have it,
yes,
right?
I'm allowed to have
and that's the beauty of Woodward Sports. As you know, on Fridays we do the 103 Club in the back at 103. As soon as Neil Rule gets off the air with Terry Foster, we make some old fashions. We kind of went double down today, so these are 101 old fashions too. So we're having a good time there, but we were discussing that today, just how unfiltered this whole project is, right? Like, we don't tell Adam to tone it down.
Nope.
We don't tell Terry Foster what to write and what to think. We've never told Neil Rule what to do with his show, and that's kind of the beauty of it. I also said that's kind of a bad thing too. Like, we should be consulting and we should be helping everybody, but at the same time, it's on you. You want to be a great show, figure it out. You want to be the sports authority on something, you got the opportunity to do it, but it's on you to make that happen. And you've done a great job carving out a role for yourself, even if it is just a hater.
No, thank you very much. A place like Woodward Sports, I still feel like that I'm not supposed to be at this level right now, but a place like Woodward Sports gives you the opportunity. If you want it enough, if you get your opportunities enough, make the most of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people have sort of come up from unknowns to now they're like big stars of the network, i.e. a guy like Jeff Iafrate or even Adam Beydoun. Look at how well the morning show's doing. Look at how well all these shows are doing.
Adam didn't have a friend 2 years ago, and now he's probably the most popular sports morning show in Detroit, because I know we crushed the other guys.
I mean, I can see why he didn't have friends before, but that's... Just kidding, Adam. I love you, man.
But yeah, once again, welcome. Guys like JB. JB, have you had a good year so far? I mean, we're wrapping it up. This is the last live show of the year for Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz.
That's so crazy to think about. But yeah, I've had a good year, and I think one of the best moments I've had so far was actually emailing you and actually getting the opportunity to work here at Woodward Sports, because I used to drive by this building like every single day working at my old job, and just knowing in my head one day that I'm going to make it in there one day, just because I watch you guys so much, and finally having that opportunity to be here, like, I'm grateful. Thank you, man.
Hey, no, man, thank you guys, because that's what this is all about, right? We wanted to be kind of a boots on the ground, in the streets, just real opinions from real sports fans, not polished guys that are, I went to this such and such school and I learned how to speak like on air. No, be you. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll move on. That's pretty much the concept. And then obviously we got to show love to Fletch, who is, not to stroke Fletch, but that guy has grown so much over this past year.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in and working with the show with the likes of Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz. Fletch has done a tremendous job and has been a tremendous asset. And we found him working in a coffee shop, right, Fletch?
Yeah, I didn't think I would be here. I went to school for audio engineering. I wanted to be work in a recording studio mixing music, and I think that I have definitely found my place. I love it here. You guys are the best. I think I've passed a year now with the network, and I couldn't ask for a better job, a better team, whether it be Stick and Flannel on the desk, JB in the booth, or Ryan, Braylon, and Maz. It's a great place to work. We have fun. I hope that everybody watching now, anybody that continues to watch, just enjoys and continues to enjoy. We're working our asses off for you guys.
Yeah, and we honestly don't know where it's going. So you guys are just we didn't know we were going to be partnering with Fox 2 at the beginning of this year, but that's something that happened, and here we go with it. And here comes Terry Foster and Neil Rule strolling on in the studio. And this is the stuff I love right here. Go to Maz Cam. You definitely could have just walked out the other doors, but...
We could have, but we didn't.
No, and that's why we love you guys. Happy New Year, guys. Have a great night.
The final word.
The final word.
I'll see you next year.
Would you guys like to be on the #1 show on the network? No? Okay. All right, Sam, let's get it. Enough slapping each other on the back and all that good stuff. But for real, I love you guys. Love everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat. And yes, I did get a ton of feedback. Juice's Ghost. Yeah, Twitter went wild because I posted pictures of a girl. And if you're a beta, we don't want you a part of this network. Tell your dad you're sorry that he didn't raise you right. Sorry, tell him that you're sorry you're intimidated by the female form and that you can't handle it.
I mean, what does Race Remembered say? No flex zone, no beta zone.
No beta zone here.
No beta zone.
All right, we got to start off with a disagreement that me and you had before the show.
All right.
Let's do it. This weekend, we talked about it, Michigan playing tomorrow, the Lions playing Sunday. Is it a bigger game for Michigan, or is it a bigger game for the Detroit Lions? Flannel Sam, I'll let you go first.
It is a bigger game for Michigan. This is the college football playoff. This is a game in which Michigan is favored to win. They should win. And if they win, they get to play for a national championship, something that Michigan they haven't had a national championship since 1997. This is the type of game that can completely solidify your program into a top-tier powerhouse. Can make Jim Harbaugh arguably in the running for the best coach in the nation, not named Nick Saban. For the Lions, I understand that's a big game. Obviously, it's a huge game. I'm going to be in Ford Field for that game. And if they win, they're still alive for the playoffs. But Michigan is playing in the college football playoff for a national championship. In this Lions-Bears game, it's still a regular season game, an extremely important regular season game, but not a playoff level game. So I'm going to go with Michigan, and it's not even particularly close to me.
I understand that argument, and I get it because Michigan is 13-0.
Yep.
If they win this game, they get a shot at the Natty. It's a very important game for Michigan. But I'm going to argue the Detroit Lions on this.
Okay.
The Lions have not been in the playoffs in many, many years. This is a plant your flag in the ground game for the Detroit Lions. If they lose this game and the next game, this season is not considered nearly as a success that it should be.
Sure.
And same kind of conversation you can have for Michigan if they go 13-0 and lose in the first round. But Michigan is still growing. Michigan has finally hit their stride with Jim Harbaugh, right?
Yeah.
Finally. It took some time, but they finally hit their stride. The Lions are still looking to establish who they are. This could be an establishing game for the Detroit Lions. Michigan has already established themselves by beating Ohio State the past 2 years, especially this year by going on the road and defeating an Ohio State. That makes their season a success already. The Lions have an opportunity to make the playoffs against all odds, against all doubts. After starting 1-6, the only other team to ever do that, and we've mentioned it a million times on this network, the Cincinnati Bengals in the 70s when they first came around.
Yep.
If the Lions can get into the playoffs and trounce the Bears, then trounce the Packers, this could be a franchise-altering win for the Lions. I don't see this being a program-altering win for Michigan.
That does make sense to an extent, because if Michigan loses this game at home, I mean, if the Lions lose this game at home to the Bears, a game that they also should win, that they're favored in, then you're going to start to hear some of the SOL talk. And honestly, I won't even blame people if they lose at home to the Bears with the stakes this high. But with regards to Michigan, they've already been to the college football playoff. They were there last year, and they got bounced in the semifinals to a Georgia team that they were clearly inferior to. That Georgia team had 5 first-round draft picks on defense, and Jalen Carter and Kelly Ringo were there. This year, Michigan is playing a TCU team that they are better than. They are favored against. And to me, that would be a disappointment. It would be sort of another one of those Big Ten team is Big Ten good and then goes to the college football playoff and doesn't do anything. Not against an SEC team, not against an Alabama, not against a Georgia, not against an LSU. TCU, a team that they have to beat. I would argue that both games are extremely important kind of program or team changing games. I would just say that Michigan's is bigger as of right now, and the Lions, they have to get into the playoffs first before they have a game as big as Michigan does this weekend.
But I think we can both agree on one thing, whether we disagree on who's this bigger for.
Yeah.
It's awesome to be talking Lions football in December for a big game and Michigan for a big game. I mean, this is we can't lose, right?
No.
Unless both teams lose.
Unless both teams lose. And then we're coming back here Monday. I'm coming off of a bender, and nobody's happy. And we don't want that. I mean, it might be good for radio or digital media, but I don't want that. That would be the one way in which this weekend kind of ends unhappily if they both lose. But the good news is they both are favored. They both should win, and they both, I think it would be a very big disappointment if they don't.
Well, we're going to get a ton into more Michigan talk coming up today, and then we're also going to do Lions talk. Plus, we got the year in review coming up. If you want, in the woodwardsports.com chat, start listing your favorite sports moment from 2022, and we'll talk about it later in the show. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Lady Jane's. We get to sit in this beautiful studio every day because of the people at Lady Jane's, the beautiful girls. You can sit down, walk in anytime, and get that precision haircut and be treated like a king. New Year's Eve is coming. Make sure you're looking your best to bring in 2023. Walk in anytime to Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. We here at Woodward Sports would like to thank everybody who helped us stuff our studio. The third annual Stuff a Studio was a major success, thanks in part to our partners at Guardian Alarm and Myers Stores for making it all possible. And of course, we couldn't do it without our community leaders and viewers like you. Thank you for dropping off toys to our studio that were taken to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, so every sick child
could have a happy holiday.
We are incredibly grateful for Woodward Sports, Guardian Alarm, and Meyer for making the holidays so special for our patients and families.
So what we do is try to bring some normalcy to their lives at this time. This is a labor of love. It brings so much joy, and not just for the families and for the children, but for our staff.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway's got the giant slide, those winter bumper cars, and of course, that indoor arcade. Plus, you can grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any Lions, Wings, or Pistons home game. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit. And of course, you can always check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Shout out to Cousins Made Lobster, new advertiser here on Woodward Sports and woodwardsports.com. Thank you to everybody watching on fox2detroit.com and everybody in the chat. We appreciate you being a part of the show. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. That is Flannel Sam, filling in for his childhood hero, Braylon Edwards today.
That's very true.
Is it weird when I say that?
Yeah, it is weird because, I mean, working with like Darren McCarty and Braylon Edwards, they become like your friend Darren, your friend Braylon, not sort of this mythical person that's being professional athletes. So you have to kind of take a step back and be like, this is Darren McCarty and Braylon Edwards. These
Right.
are Red Wings, Michigan football, NFL. Unbelievable.
Jeremy's joining us, and of course we have Fletch and the one, the only Adam Morrissey in Maz's booth. You're rocking that brand new Lions shirt from Pat McAfee show, right?
Yep.
Funny story about that shirt. You guys want to know a little bit behind the scenes here at Woodward Sports? We have a pretty good relationship with Foxy on the Pat McAfee show. Him and Adam exchange text messages all the time. They were branding brand new Lions about a month ago, and we came up with a t-shirt we were going to put out on woodwardsports.com/shop. Make sure you go there. You can get this Hail hoodie as well. But I was in the camp of, let's just get this brand new Lions t-shirt up. Adam and Nick were like, hey, can we reach out to Foxy and just at least like ask before we put it up and ask them their plans? And we did the right thing. We asked the Pat McAfee show, are you guys planning on putting t-shirts up? They said yes in about 3 days. Please don't put yours up before us. And we obliged to them. So sometimes we're the nice guys, but I still think that was a stupid decision.
I mean, that's why you got to consult with people. But hey, Stick, I think you were probably right. But you know what? There's nothing you can do about it now.
Well, and Foxy replied, hey, thank you guys for doing that. Most people would just put it up and say F you. And we're not that type of people.
Man of integrity, Stick.
Yeah, we try to be here at Woodward Sports, but, we're still from Detroit, so we're going to do Detroit things. That's just how it happens. Speaking of doing Detroit things.
Oh, yes.
Killian Hayes. I wasn't on the show yesterday. I didn't get a chance to discuss it. Flannel, I didn't get to hear all of your opinion on this. Everybody saw what happened.
Yes.
Forearm shiver to the back of Mo Wagner's head.
Yes.
KO'd him. Some people think he was KO'd. Some people think he was faking. Either way, the dude went down like a tree in the forest,
Looked
right?
like he was sleeping.
He was sleeping.
You got knocked the out, man!
Exactly, Chris Tucker. Thank you. Thank you for that. Smokey. Do you like Killian Hayes more now? That's the question I care about all of this.
That is an interesting question. I would say this is sort of a complicated answer. I don't necessarily have a problem that he retaliated. I like that he retaliated because Mo Wagner, that was a dirty play, and you don't just want to lay down and take it. But it doesn't make me like Killian Hayes more because I don't really care about that stuff as much as some people, as much as a lot of Detroit sports fans. I care about the fact that I still don't think Killian Hayes can play. And I think us Pistons fans are really way overrating him, because all I see every time that he has one good game is the cult of Killian, a.k.a. Pistons Twitter, just explode. And I have some numbers for you. This season, he is averaging 9.1 points, 2.9 rebounds, 5.3 assists on 38.1% from the floor, which is terrible, and 32.3% from three, which is respectable for what he has been. So I just think we need to pump the brakes on this guy. I don't think that makes him sort of like that dog or that bad boy. I just think he retaliated against a cheap shot. I don't have a problem with it, but it doesn't make me like Killian more. You got to play. I want to see that he can play before I like him more. I got to see improvement. I got to see that shooting percentage get above 40%. I got to see that points per game go above 10. And then maybe I will start to come around. But until then, I'm still not sold on Killian Hayes.
I am.
I know you are.
I am now.
We've had lots of fights about it.
We've had lots of fights because I didn't give up on Killian, right? Like, I focused on his defense. That's something that a Dwayne Casey theory is what he wants out of his point guard. He wants a defensive-minded point guard. Killian likes that corner three. That's also a position that he needs to fill in a Dwayne Casey offense. I don't mind Killian Hayes. Did I want Tyrese Halliburton? You can go back and watch the live reaction to that draft. It was one of our first draft parties here at Woodward Sports, and you heard me screaming for Tyrese Halliburton, who has turned out to be quite an NBA player. With that being said, I love this moment for Killian Hayes. I love this moment for the Detroit Pistons. I love this moment for what it means for the team moving forward. To me, it's not just a punch to the back of Mo Wagner's head. To me, it's a galvanizing moment for the entire team. When your boy gets in a fight and everybody else shows up to have his back, it means something to you. It means they're going to start playing more for each other. It means that they're in that bunker mentality. This is my guy. Even though I may not agree with you sucker punching a dude to the back of the head, like D-Mac says, cheap shot for cheap shot, I'm okay with it. So Killian Hayes doing that to me, I loved every minute of it. Get suspended, I don't care. The season's a waste anyways. We want to tank. We want to get that number one pick. But you need these types of moments where teams can form as a team. And it's all about how they manage it out of here. Do I want to see fights every game? Hell no. Do I want to see Killian punching dudes in the back of the head every game? No. I don't want that at all. But what I did love out of all of that was, if you look back and you see some of the tweets about people that were at the state, watching Jalen Duren pushing off other players, knowing that this is my guy, now I got to be the enforcer at 19 years old, even though I'm a beast, I'm clearing things out. Those things are so important to the team aspect of sports. And I think it can be a moment that these guys rally behind. These guys get behind, and I think it was a great moment for Killian, because Sada Baby does not like Killian Hayes, right?
No, we're like in lockstep.
We know that. Sada Baby has tweeted about Killian Hayes. Sada Baby has gone at him. But even after this, Eazy made a little compilation using Sada Baby, song with it, and Killian punching him in the back of the head, and Sada was like, all right, I even respect that. So he's gaining respect that he didn't have, because I think everybody was like, man, this guy isn't what he's supposed to be. But now it's like, he isn't what he's supposed to be, but at least he ain't soft.
No, and I said that before. You can't just let Mo Wagner sort of punk you, completely cheap shot you, something that he's had a history of doing, and then just completely let him get away with it. Do I agree with the forearm shiver to the back of the head? Not necessarily, but not everybody is built to square up and fight. My thing is, I might be more on your side if we see more tangible improvement from the Pistons. I'm not asking for a ton of wins this year, because I still think this is a lost season. But I'm looking for continued improved play out of Killian. I'm not blind to the fact that Killian, after that terrible start, has played better. I want to see more of it. I want to see more team basketball. I want to see better defense. And then that will kind of give proof to the point that this could be a galvanizing moment. I don't want to see them, they play tonight against Chicago, I don't want to see them give up like 130 or 135 and I know they got some players out. I don't want to see that. I want to see good basketball, acceptable basketball moving forward with just some sort of young player mistakes, but I need to see improvement on the court before I'm just like, oh, that's a galvanizing moment. You know what I mean?
And that's fair. I like Public Enemy's comment here in the WoodwardSports.com chat. If nothing else, it shows that his teammates respect and like him.
And that's fair. And people think that I hate Killian Hayes. I don't. I don't want Troy Weaver's first ever draft pick to be a bust. I just think so far that he has been, and people aren't telling the truth about him. I think he can improve. I think he obviously has shown something as a defender, as a playmaker, although I think it's been a little bit overhyped. My thing is, I don't want him to shoot you out of games and kind of nullify the defense and the playmaking. And hey, the fact that his teammates like him, that is important, especially the fact that Killian Hayes is sort of a point guard, a guy that gets others involved. That's a good sign, but to me, that's all it is right now. A good sign. We'll see if it means anything going forward.
Yeah, my biggest fear with him is he's been putting up good stats since Cade got hurt.
Yeah.
But Cade's going to be playing for the Pistons, so you're going to have to figure out how to put up those stats while Cade is on the court.
Yeah, another one of Killian fans' sort of like excuses is that, oh, he only plays well when he's the focal part of the offense. Well, when Cade Cunningham is back, you're not going to be the focal part of the point of the offense. You've got to sit on the bench and sort of learn a new role. And that will be the test, along with his continued improvement for the rest of the season, to see if Killian Hayes is a guy that can be on this team when they're ready to win in the future.
Maybe we should bring in your boy Lindsey Hunter to teach him how to be a great six-man off the bench.
Hey, my friend, my friend Lindsey Hunter.
Dude, the way Lindsey looked at you when you said Ben Wallace isn't a Hall of Famer, I think that's one of the highlights of Woodward Sports in 2022.
No, I think it kind of shocked him a little bit because we didn't prepare him.
We don't do that.
People were just kind of like, Sam has a take that you're not going to like, and he had no idea what was coming.
He said he was getting text messages for days.
I know. I would like to ask him who, like the who's who of the NBA. Which one of them has texted him and been like, who is this flannel wearing idiot? You know what I mean?
JB, how you feeling about Killian Hayes right now?
I'm on your side, actually. I'm feeling more comfortable with him right now because I'll tell you the truth. At the beginning of the season, I was like, I don't think this dude is going to make it as a Piston. He will be off the team by next year, but after seeing the fight in him that he had by taking that cheap shot, I guess if you want to call it that, over Mo Wagner, he's fine. I mean, I said this on Heavyweights last night. I had my doubts about him, but you know what? I'm starting to change about it. He might be a Detroit bad boy after all, you know?
And I like that. I like that. I like how he's getting a little more acceptance into the Detroit culture.
And when you fight someone who cheap shots you, you're going to get acceptance into the Detroit culture because that's what we are here. We're gritty, we're tough, we don't take any ish. I mean, we've got guys like Darren McCarty, the bad boys. That's kind of the going to work Pistons. That's usually how Detroit sports teams win. I don't necessarily put as much into that as some, but this is Detroit sports. It's kind of the ethos. And Killian Hayes, he gained himself a lot of respect in fans. I will give him that. And at least he did it. He did not just let that happen and not retaliate.
And my favorite part about that whole fiasco was Mason on the mic. Detroit fans, if you leave your seat, you will be arrested. Like, we still have all this PTSD from the malice at the Palace, where it's like, please don't kick the hell out of the Orlando Magic. Please don't go on the court and fight these guys. And you know, that's one thing you love about Detroit.
Hey, but you know whose season was actually ruined by the malice of the Palace? The Pacers, not the Pistons.
Pacers season wasn't ruined. Like that whole documentary came out that by the way, the Pacers produced to tell you that they were going to be champions, that they were going to win it all. Had it not, you guys weren't winning a dang thing.
I don't know.
I almost swore. But we're on Fox2Detroit.com, so I cannot do that.
I think they might have. Ron Artest was a good player, but it was their own fault. I'm not giving them any excuses. It's just that the fact that it was sort of a dark moment in Pistons history, when in reality, it was more of a dark moment in Pacers history.
Yeah, and you saw what Isaiah Thomas said. If Larry Bird wouldn't have been a punk and fired him and brought in Rick Carlisle, it would have never happened. So you mess with the bad boys, you get what you get. JB, tell us about Chili Peppers tanning, because I know you love tanning.
Oh, of course. I mean, couldn't you tell? Just come on. But Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D, with the spotless, sanitized rooms and trained, certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club today. For the best deals, they'll beat all competitors by $5.
$5?
Oh, yes. And don't forget to pick up that Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal 10, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. With 27 locations and more coming soon, Chili Peppers Tanning is your vitamin D location. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, is Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tanning.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all three of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box.
Cranberry.
Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free all in one pack. Okay. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron and let's go Red Wings. Get dope like me.
Let's go Red Wings! Welcome back to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show. It's turned into the Stick and Flannel with Adam Morrissey show, sitting in Maz's chair. But of course we have JB in the audio booth and my man Fletch behind the TD booth. But TD is like, nobody knows what the hell a TD is. TD means technical director, and that means Fletch is providing all the video and visual stuff. He's in control of, JB's in control of all of the audio stuff, to give you a little bit behind the scenes here at Woodward Sports. Thank you to everybody at woodwardsports.com and fox2detroit.com and everybody in our chat. Let's get to some Lions football.
Yes.
Man, it's December 30th.
Yep.
And we're talking meaningful Lions football.
Oh, can't beat it, can you, man?
You can't.
No.
And when the Lions were 1-6, you didn't think it was possible.
We thought it was going to be draft talk at this time, and I was so sick of doing those shows in like November or December.
Mock drafts coming out in November. No, now it's playoff talk because the Lions still have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. They do not control their own destiny, but they still have a legitimate chance at it. So let's get into it. Lions facing the Bears this weekend at home, Sunday, Ford Field. I believe there's still some tickets available. It's not a complete sellout with standing room only like it was against the Vikings. So I don't know if it's going to be as loud, but I do think by the time Sunday comes, Ford Field is going to be rocking for that event.
Absolutely. Like you said before, the Lions don't control their destiny, but I think if they do win these next two, they have a very good shot. And if they win these next two, that would be sort of a good way to finish the season. And I would still be proud. I would still consider this season a success no matter what happens. But that being said, the Lions are facing a 3-12 Bears team that's on an 8-game losing streak, has nothing to play for, and mid-season got rid of their best two defensive players, Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn. So if the Lions lose this game, that would be sort of that burn down the house sort of loss, that SOL creeping in kind of loss. But I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form. I know people are scared of the Bears. I know people are scared of Justin Fields and that rushing attack. My question is, can the Bears get one stop on the Lions? Their defense during this 8-game losing streak is allowing an abhorrent 32.6 points per game. And the Lions offense just so happens to be 5th in the NFL in scoring offense. So, hey, you like those numbers, right?
I do love those numbers.
I mean, Justin Fields and the Bears, they do have the #1 rushing attack in the NFL, and it is obviously a concern after the Lions just gave up the Carolina Panthers franchise record for rushing yards in a game. That is a concern. But my thing is, I think the Bears will put up some rushing yards. I really do. I think they might rush for over 200 yards as a team. But I think the Lions can score 35 to 40 points because this Bears defense is bad. And also, are you super concerned with Justin Fields throwing the football?
No.
I am not.
Never have been, never will be.
I am not either. And you know what Justin Fields also does? And he probably threw his worst one against the Lions at the first time. He puts the ball up for grabs. Remember what happened the first time? Up 24-17. But it wasn't even just like a great play by Aiden Hutchinson and Jeff Okudah. It was a terrible interception thrown by Justin Fields, one of the worst I've ever seen. So all of that combined with the Bears' poor defense, I think that will be the key. I think the Lions will run it, throw it all up and down the field. I'm not worried. What say you, Stick?
Well, let's first address the WoodwardSports.com chat. Steve O'Baby says they weren't even ready last week, so why would you believe that they're going to be ready against the Bears? And here's why. This is my reasoning behind this. Lions got cocky last week.
They did.
Lions started feeling themselves last week. Lions started to believe the national media last week against Calvin Shepard's best effort to keep them grounded and let them know, hey, it's been 50 years of you guys sucking. 6 weeks of you doing okay doesn't mean you're anything. The Lions walked in feeling like they were the favorites, looking ahead to the Bears, looking ahead to the Packers, looking ahead to the playoffs, and they overlooked a team that punched them square in the mouth. Now, I need to see how they respond to that. And I feel, I may not be right, but I feel Dan Campbell and the rest of that Lions team looked themselves in the mirror this week, gave them a hard look, and understood we cannot come out like that. Nothing is given in the NFL. They got a little too excited winning too much.
Yep.
If you were to lose one of these last 3 games, which one would you want to lose?
Carolina.
Carolina.
Absolutely. And what has been one of the trademarks of a Dan Campbell coach team, even when they were losing? The team plays hard for them.
Correct.
So I expect the Lions to be up for this game. They kind of got their manhood taken at Carolina. Carolina, like I said, set their franchise record for rushing yards in a game. Sam Darnold even had a good game, which that's kind of a theme against the Lions. So to me,
I hate Sam Darnold for that, man.
I know. It's such a weird sort of statistical anomaly. So that means,
him and Mitch Trubisky have pimp slapped us for the past 5 years,
and they're not NFL level quarterbacks.
No, it's wild. It's how and why? But keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So I guess my point is that if you're really that grit team, if you're that team that always plays hard for Dan Campbell, you're going to respond and you're going to come out and you're going to punch the Bears straight in the mouth, because I think they have the team that can do it with that offensive line and that porous Bears defensive line. That would be the thing that would make me question a guy like Dan Campbell, is if they came out and they clearly weren't ready again. What is one of the best measures of a team? How do you respond to adversity? And I think the Lions have what it takes to do it. I need to see it, but I don't see them laying down again. I don't see them getting punked again. This isn't a team that is just going to get their manhood taken away from them, and will, especially when they have everything they want still right in front of them.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much all of that. And when the Lions go into this game, it's got to be a reflection of what they really are.
Yes.
This is a chance to prove that last week was an anomaly.
Yep.
And if they double down on that type of beatdown, we're going to have a whole different set of questions going into the offseason. Free agents are going to look at the Lions completely different, I believe. So I think this is a marquee game for the Lions. We kind of covered that in the open when we were discussing which is more important, this Michigan win or this Lions win this weekend. And to me, the Lions have to come out and absolutely put their foot on the throat of the Bears to show them that they are the dominant team.
I mean, make it an advantage for you, because the Lions should feel fortunate that they get to play the Bears. This is a team that they are better than. This is a team that they can get right against. This is a team in the Bears that have nothing to play for except potentially ruining the Lions season. And if you're the Lions, you don't want to give them that satisfaction, because the Bears, I mean, there's nothing really to them that you can hang your hat on right now, except maybe Justin Fields and that running game. They're so young. They've got no players. They traded away some of their best players. So if you're the Lions, you got to leave no doubt early on. You got to get ahead and sort of not let up.
And that was going to be my key of the game for the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
Play from ahead. If you get out early and force Justin Fields to become a game beater instead of a game manager, and extending some drives with his legs and stuff like that, that can only last so long if you're down 14 points.
Yep.
The Lions can play the type of defense that really has made them successful this year. They get up at home, and Lions at home and Lions at road are a completely different team.
Yes.
The offense is a completely different offense. I think we can recognize that and acknowledge that.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's by design or not, because usually when they're playing on the road, they're outdoor games. At least so far this season they have been. And I feel like that's been part of Ben Johnson's and Dan Campbell's game plan, is to dumb down the offense when you're outdoors. Run the ball more. Control the line of scrimmage. Be that type of team. And this was something that I really liked about the Lions during their 6-1 streak, is they beat people different ways.
Yes.
They got to choose how they were going to fight you, and they were talented enough to win in several different facets. Are we going to be the running gun and outshoot them and score more points? The Lions offense can do that. At home. On the road, that hasn't been proven.
Yeah, but at home, they are at home this week, and that's the best part. Hey, yes, great analysis by Flannel Sam. They are at home this week. And
breaking news.
Yes, and they are playing the worst defense they will have played all season. Did they have a great offensive performance against Seattle, Jacksonville, Minnesota? Those are all better defenses than the Bears. So that's why, to me, there's no real excuse or rhyme or reason to be afraid other than it could just be SOL. There's nothing really on paper that I can point to other than the Bears having a good running game that should really trouble the Lions. I expect them to win, and my key is that just to score a lot of points. I know a lot of people would say their key is to stop Justin Fields. You're not going to do that. You're not going to be able to stop Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, and Justin Fields. But what you can do is score every time you get the ball.
Yes.
Have the Lions done that this year before? They absolutely have. And this Bears defense is gutter trash. It's been historically bad for an 8-game sample size, which is half the season. So just make them wilt. Make them fear you. That offensive line, be the bully. I mean, the Carolina Panthers offensive line was the bully last week. Now it's the time for the Lions to inflict some pain on the Bears, and they got the team to do it.
Yeah, and this is a good litmus test for the Lions, honestly. Yes. Previously, and this was brought up in the WoodwardSports.com chat a few days ago when I was filling in for Braylon Edwards. Previously, when the Lions have lost, they went on a 3-game winning streak.
Yep.
If they lose, they lost to Carolina. If they go on a 3-game winning streak, that means they're beating Chicago, they're beating Green Bay, and they're winning a playoff game.
A playoff game. Something that
they're winning a playoff game.
Something that I was 100% convinced they were going to do before the game at Carolina, which I think sort of dampened a lot of our views. But they still have it right in front of them. That wasn't a season-destroying loss. It's just going to make it tougher. But this Lions team, the way that they've responded before, I'm very encouraged by. So that's why I think they'll respond again. They'll win this game. They'll get right.
At this point, it's not a season-ending loss
or
a season-wrecking loss.
Yes.
If they double down this week, it's catastrophe. It is catastrophe. It's honestly the pressure that is on the Lions to win this week against another team that you should beat in your house. This is going to tell a lot about who these guys are as men, who they are as competitors, who Dan Campbell is as a coach, if these guys can respond to him, and it's going to let the Lions know what they need next season if they can't get it done Sunday against the Bears.
It's funny how things change, isn't it? Because before the season, I think we would have all, well, maybe not all of us, but I would have been like, okay, a 7-win season, that's good enough, that's tangible improvement. But what I didn't know was that they would be 7-7 with everything right in front of them, 3 winnable games to make the playoffs and have a 10-win season. They already lost one of those games, and they can't finish the season that kind of got to a point where they were right in the playoff mix 0-3. That's just unacceptable. That's like a crunch time failings, and 7 wins all of a sudden wouldn't look so good.
Yeah. No, it would not. It would not, even though they beat Vegas already. We're going to talk more Lions coming up next because I did the prep for today, and I got to talk about my boy Jared Goff.
Of course.
I mean, listen, I took a lot of heat for him early in the season. I have been a Jared Goff guy since he got here.
Yep.
Not thinking that he's the best, but thinking just give the guy a chance. So we're going to talk about Jared Goff coming up next. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Guardian Alarm. They were such a big part of Stuff a Studio. So not only are they giving back to their local community, they're giving you that peace of mind that you need when you are not home. With their 24/7 surveillance, they always got somebody watching your house. It's kind of like Santa Claus, honestly. They're always watching whether you're sleeping or awake. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT right now. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. And in 2023, your New Year's resolution should be to feel safe.
people see these guys as just athletes and want to see them perform real well and do real good. But at the end of the day, they're human beings. Yes. And so somebody that I cherish a lot, and ultimately I can just help facilitate this with all of you guys and all of my team. But this was really Jeff's idea, and I just wanted to do the best I could to make him, the Lions, and everybody in the community know that the players on the team love them and the people in the city.
It means the world to me. I know growing up, I wouldn't make it to where I was today without the help of other people. So
For sure.
to be able to give back, I think it's the ultimate blessing.
We're going to be here to give them joy, give them hope, give them life, let them know they can accomplish greatness in their life.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times in life, it comes to confidence.
Yes.
Once you lose confidence, it's very, very difficult to get to where you want to go, whatever your dreams are. Whether it's a painter, a mechanic, a pilot, an attorney, you got to believe. You got to believe that you can do it, that you can accomplish it. I'm really just trying to tell the kids and the parents that you can do it. You are doing great. You are parenting well.
Yeah.
Life has struggles and ups and downs. Ultimately, just letting them know that we're here to support, but yet they have a great opportunity at life still. They have a lot in front of them.
Yeah.
And always being there for them, even after the event's over. I think that's the biggest thing to me, is to let everybody know that we're here much after this 2-3 hour event today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf or their Cajun chicken Alfredo. But what about breakfast? You gotta try the stuffed potato pancakes because they are back. Try the Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today and give them a try.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on WoodwardSports.com and Fox2Detroit.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni. Flannel Sam filling in for Braylon Edwards, who is traveling to the big bowl game, the Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix as we speak. We're going to check in with him in about 10 minutes. We have JB in the studio. Adam is sitting in Maz's seat. And, of course, Fletch making sure that we look good and everything's running smooth on this last Friday show before 2023.
Man, see you next year, right?
Yeah. That's good.
I'll see myself out.
You know one guy that doesn't want to see December go away, though? It's my guy. QB1 for the Detroit Lions, Jared effing Goff. Look at these stats coming up right now. And and Fletch, look at this. This is in the month of December. And let me tell you how good these stats are. They got the heavyweights, known Jared Goff haters, to say he's good.
Ooh.
And I'm not asking them to say he's great. I'm not asking them to say he's Hall of Fame. But they have been on he's mid since Jared Goff has been a part of the Lions. And I got them to at least acknowledge that he's upper middle class. He's upper middle class. He's almost to the rich 1%ers. Not quite there. But look at this December for Jared Goff, according to Lions PR on Twitter. Number 1 in interceptions. with 0. Number 1 in 300-yard games with 3. Number 2, QB rating, 109.3. Is that good, Flannel Sam?
Anything over 100 is fantastic.
So 109 is pretty damn good.
Very good.
It's above mid.
Way above mid.
It's above cheeks.
It's elite.
It's way above cheeks. Second in passing yards, 1,277 in 1 month. Second in first downs with 68. Third in 25-yard passes with 9. Fourth in passing TDs with 9. Fifth in completions with 106. And now I know what you're saying. And I know what the argument is for you stupid Goff haters. Oh, that's just December. Well, guess what? How long is a football season? 4 months?
No.
About 4 months, 16 weeks.
4 months, yes, 4 months, yes.
So, okay, that's fine. I'll give you that. It is just December. Would you want your quarterback for 1/4 of a season to be ranked in top 10 and top 5 in all the important categories? Yes, you would. If you hate Jared Goff, you are an idiot and you don't know football.
I mean, at this point, Jared Goff is sort of silencing a lot of the haters. And two of the biggest ones on the Woodward heavyweights, if they're saying that he's good, especially if Eazy is saying that he's good.
And they said he's good, not great.
Yes.
And I said, finally, we could come to an agreement, because I don't think Jared Goff is Patrick Mahomes.
No.
I don't think he's Josh Allen.
Yes.
But you know what he is? The best damn quarterback we've seen in some years.
Yeah, I mean, what version of Matthew Stafford would have been better than Jared Goff? Like early season, but anywho, I know exactly what you mean. Jared Goff, and it's not just the month of December. You like the fact that in December he's playing the best football probably of his whole damn career.
Correct.
But coming into Detroit, we looked at Jared Goff as a guy as if you get everything around him, if you give him the offensive line, the weapons, the running game, that he can be successful. And the bench,
surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Every quarterback can. And that's what we used to hear
yes.
about Matthew Stafford
100%.
apologists.
Hey.
Oh, if he had a running game. Oh, if he had a new offensive coordinator. Oh, if he had a new head coach. Oh, if he had new ownership. Oh, if he had a defense. You can do that all day long.
If you have a new team, he actually did. But we look at Jared Goff, the benchmark season that we all look to as NFL fans is 2018 with the Los Angeles Rams. That was the team where they went to the Super Bowl. He had Todd Gurley as his running back, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. A great defense. He had a good year, though. So we looked at him as maybe a guy that if he can put up numbers comparable to his 2018 season, we would all be doing backflips. What a coincidence. So this year, he has 26 touchdown passes, which already is his most since 2018. His highest yards per attempt since 2018. His highest passer rating since 2018.
But wait, I was told Todd Gurley made all that happen.
I mean, Todd Gurley helped, but Jared Goff is still a good quarterback.
Thank you.
Yes, and QBR, his highest QBR since 2018. So Jared Goff, especially if you consider, we like what the Lions are building, but this roster is not as good as the Rams was in 2018. Jared Goff is playing the best football of his career. He's having the best season of his career. He's having his best stretch of his career. And he's been one of the biggest reasons why this offense is so good, why this team is in position to make the playoffs. So I think all of us Lions fans, even if you don't love Jared Goff as our long-term option, still have to put some respect on his name as the season he's had, which is a worthy Pro Bowler.
And how old is Jared Goff?
Was he like 28?
28 years old. That's not old, is it, Sam?
Doesn't seem like he's 28, but he is 28. He is young, and especially in quarterbacks, you see how long some of these quarterbacks are playing, and he still could get better.
Imagine if I had a blank slate up, and I said, you know what, Lions fans, I'm going to give you a quarterback who's been to a Super Bowl, who was the number 1 overall pick, who's 28 years old, and who will lead the league top 5 in all important statistical categories. Shouldn't Lions fans be happy?
Yes.
Why aren't they?
Because I'm trying to get into sort of the headspace of them, because I am happy with how Jared Goff is playing right now. I'm not looking too much towards the future. I just think people see that there might be a ceiling with Jared Goff. I know that it's not all his fault, but they see that when Jared Goff left the Rams and got Matthew Stafford, who is a better quarterback, although not by as much as you think, they win the Super Bowl.
But don't forget, they also got Odell Beckham.
Sure.
They also got a couple other prizes, too, along the way.
That's why it's not all about the quarterback.
They also picked up a Von Miller, who had a very big impact. So we can give Matthew Stafford his flowers. He earned it. He won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
You can never take that away from him, and I never will. To me, Matthew Stafford is the best Lions quarterback of all time.
I won't argue that.
You can't.
No.
I
Bobby
mean,
Lane.
Bobby, you can with Bobby Lane.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
But honestly, like as much as I didn't love Stafford here, the marriage was over, right?
Yes.
It was the right move for both organizations to move on. And what the Lions got back, and the Rams throwing us Jared Goff, thinking that was, and people thinking that was a punishment almost. Yep. Oh, now you're inheriting a $30 million salary cap hit. Oh, you should have just taken the picks and then dealt with. No. I love Jared Goff. I love Jared Goff.
Wow.
And I'm willing to say that on the air today because not only has he proven me right over the past 2 years, I'm smart enough to know when we have a good thing here in Detroit. And I'm smart enough to know throwing it away for a rookie quarterback who has to learn on the job with an offense that already is clicking would be very frustrating.
Yes, and we all trust that Brad Holmes is going to help build an even better roster than the one that they have right now. I mean, look at the Lions roster right now. One of the checklists of the season that I had was, would guys like Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown take that step from good rookies to stars? They have. The rookie class that the Lions have drafted so far this year with Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston, Kirby Joseph, Malcolm Rodriguez, they've all been hits. And that has correlated to, I think, the team being better, Ben Johnson being the offensive coordinator. And that all helps a guy like Jared Goff because they're building a roster that I think in a few years can maybe challenge like the 2018 Los Angeles Rams if they keep up the pace that they're at. And Jared Goff, I mean, that might be the team maybe in 2024 or if they re-sign him 2025 that is the perfect surrounding cast around him that maybe, hey, he can go back to another Super Bowl. I don't want to look too far ahead. I know mentioning the Lions in the Super Bowl kind of sounds crazy, but Jared Goff, he's a good quarterback. If you put everything around him, he can take you places. He can win you playoff games. He can get you to a Super Bowl. He's done it.
Yeah, it's proven. So
Yes.
that's not even an argument, right?
Yes.
Like hey, this has been done before.
Yep.
And what I love about Jared Goff is he's come in, he's acclimated himself. He's not a problem child.
Nope.
You're seeing with guys like Zach Wilson, you're seeing, other people around the league getting into issues in the locker room. And that's one thing I don't think people consider. There's on the field play and then there's off the field.
Yep.
And off the field, I'm not going to say as important as on the field because Aaron Rodgers is probably the most toxic teammate you'll ever find. But on the field, he produces.
Sure.
I'll give him his flowers there, even though I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time, like our friend Tom Mazaway would say. But not being a problem is important.
They needed Jared Goff to kind of set the example,
Stabilize.
be the pro,
Yep.
because that's what he is. He's a pro. He's a leader. Young guys can look to him and say, like, this is what I need to be a pro. And when you've got a young team with a young coaching staff, you need a guy like Jared Goff to sort of be like that guy, almost the mouthpiece of the coaches, do it the right way. And so far, everything I've seen from Jared Goff is that he is that guy. And not to mention, he's having a Pro Bowl level season on a team that is 5th in the NFL in points per game.
And that's what's so baffling to me about people who claim to be Lions fans.
Yes.
But they almost are rooting for Jared Goff to fail so they can fit their narrative around it.
Pretty sure that's
Right?
easy.
I didn't want to say his name without saying his name, but, let's call him out. It is what it is. Like, these guys must sit at home on Sunday, and when Jared Goff does something well, it's like, I got to hear it from Stick. Because I know the minute he does something wrong, guess what happens in our group chat? Doesn't it light up?
Yep.
Oh, he underthrew one pass. It's like, okay, but you didn't acknowledge the 17 in a row he completed.
Oh, yeah. Remember the Seahawks game when the Lions gave up 41 points along with a pick six to a Geno Smith-led Seahawks? And then the first thing that Eazy does the next day and be like, Jared Goff threw a pick six.
Jared Goff lost the game.
Even though he led the Lions to 45 offensive points, which is well more than enough to win. It's Jared Goff's fault. So that's kind of the slings and arrows that you get as a Jared Goff guy. Me as a guy who at least loves what he's done this season. We got to kind of be the truth tellers sometimes.
Truthers.
Right? The truthers.
That's what we are. We're Jared Goff truthers to these hater-ass heavyweights that like, oh, here comes Eazy as we speak. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Eazy, we were planning on talking Lions next segment, but we got to get your ass in here, so we'll do that next. But first, let me tell you about our friends at the Custom Health Center. 2023 is here, and usually one of the biggest New Year's resolutions is to lose weight, get in shape, and to just feel better about yourself. You want to look good naked. Let's all face it. That's what this is all about. You want to feel good naked? Custom Health Centers, they're the guys that can make you feel that way. Pause. 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. They will get you on your custom health diet because everybody's body is different and responds to different things. Custom Health, it's strictly for you. No one else will have the weight loss plan that you have. So give them a call today, just in time for 2023. 844-789-8446.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All right, time to talk about Phillips. No, not former 1880s mayor of Nashville, Claiborne Hooper Phillips, but Michael
Where the hell
Phillips,
do you
of
find
course.
these?
Looking to buy or sell your home, whether
If
you're a
that's
player
off
or
the
a
dome, you're amazing.
It's not off the dome.
Okay.
Helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011.
Game on.
Game on. Welcome back to WoodwardSports.com and Fox2Detroit.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. Flannel Sam filling in for Braylon Edwards. We're going to be checking in with him in a little bit. We have JB in the audio studio. Fletch is here as well. He is in the TD booth, Adam Morrissey, and then, of course, we start talking Jared Goff, start giving him some love, and out of the deep, deep crevices of Haterville, the #1 Goff hater on the network, who sits up every Sunday and hopes this guy fails so he has something to conveniently get to his argument with, the one, the only, one of my favorite people here at the network. I love you so much, Eazy, even though I don't agree with your takes. It's Speak Easy, baby.
What up, though? Thanks for having me. I love you, too, by the way. Both of you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so the reason why I came out wasn't to hate on Goff. Hater. It's because you guys said a guy who claims they're a Lions fan. Actually, Sam, you're the one that said this. People who claim they're Lions fans that almost root against them to fit their narrative.
I said that. I said that.
Okay.
Because that's what you are.
No.
Yes.
No. If you're a
you
Lions
and Spence
fan,
sit there and like, oh God, I hope Goff messes up so I can tell Stick how bad he is.
No, that's not why. I don't hope that he messes up. I hope that he wins. But I just want Lions fans, if you're a Lions fan, right, you want the best for this team. You want this team to do as best as possible. Why wouldn't you want them to copy the route other teams have gone to win Super Bowls, like to get there, to make it to these games?
Which teams do you speak of?
I speak of the 49ers. I speak of the LA Rams, who actually dumped Goff.
You speak of the 49ers, who had a guy like Jimmy G, decided he wasn't good enough, who got them to a Super Bowl, trashed him for Trey Lance, who isn't playing anymore, went back to Jimmy G, who performed better. To me, you're using the 49ers, and that's the exact thing I'm afraid of with Jared Goff.
You can't say performed better. He got hurt in the game 2 of the season. Like, that's like he didn't have a really chance to perform at all.
That's the risk you take, though. Like, beat health.
But aren't you afraid of that? Spending your number 3, number 4 overall pick at Lions right now are sitting at 7 with the Rams pick. Aren't you afraid of spending that high a draft capital on somebody that you didn't need?
Not at all. Just because, again, I'm speaking as a Lions fan. Like, if you're telling me you're a Lions fan, and you know there's a stat out there, there hasn't been a single quarterback that's taken up 12% of a team's salary cap space that to win a Super Bowl, outside of Tom Brady in 2018. That's the one anomaly. What's Tom Brady, what's he like notoriously known for?
Taking pay cuts.
Taking pay cuts to benefit the team, right? Because football is the ultimate team sport. If you know that's a stat out there, and you're a Lions fan, why are you rooting for like the mediocrity that you have right now with a guy that's currently taking up more than that 12%.
Because you look at it as mediocrity, I look at it as success. I look at a guy that leads the league in is a top 5 in all those categories, and who had the #1 air offense, and who leads the top 5 in scoring. I don't look at that as a failure. I look at it as a success. And I look at our defense for the Detroit Lions as the failure. And if Jared Goff had a supporting defense that was at least serviceable throughout those first 7 games, the Lions would be well into the playoffs, probably sitting on 10 wins right now.
So there's a couple games this year that Jared Goff had fumbles, or actually it's turnovers, I'll say in general, fumbles, interceptions that went for literally 6 to the other team. The defense doesn't have much to do with that.
Turnovers happen for every quarterback, though.
But they resulted in losses, right? So, like, the defense did have a slow start. It's also the youngest defense, like, throughout the entirety of the league. If you have the quarterback in a rookie deal, make you afford a couple vets to speed that process along. But nonetheless, I'm not even, like, trying to usher, like, Jared Goff out immediately or expedite him, like, faster than we need to. I'm just saying, like, if you want to, like, cookie-cutter example of like how to win a Super Bowl or how to at least get there, we've seen it, and it's not.
No, we've never seen that as Lions fans. We've never seen how to get there.
We've seen it outside of Detroit,
and this is the problem with
like
Lions
people with
fans
eyeballs and like minds that
this
see
is the problem with Lions fans
though.
and Jared Goff haters. Is you've never seen success here, so you don't know what it looks like.
It's not. I'm not talking about success here. I'm talking about I've seen success. I've seen teams win Super Bowls. We all watch Super Bowl every single year. It's crazy. These guys on rookie deals seem to go there often. Joe Burrow was just there last year.
Yeah, and for every Joe Burrow, I can name you a Zach Wilson.
I guess what? You got Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff went there. Guess what kind of deal he was on?
That's fine. He was on his rookie deal.
I'm
okay with that.
They afforded a beautiful team around Jared Goff that year because he was on a rookie deal.
But why, as a Lions fan, are you so arrogant that you think you deserve better than a 28-year-old quarterback who was the #1 overall pick, who has already taken a team to a Super Bowl and leads in the top 5 in all important statistical categories? Why do you think you deserve better? And who's better? To me, this goes back.
It's not even I think I deserve better. I'm just, again, looking at recipes that work around the league.
To me, you have the same mentality of the Jim Caldwell haters. You have the same mentality of the guys who hated Jim Harbaugh when he was at Michigan early on. Without waiting and seeing what you actually got, you want to throw out the best thing you've had. Without an Apple replacement, because I will ask you straight up, who can you bring in that's better? And you can't give me an answer.
I can't give you an answer.
So you can provide me with problems, but you can't provide me with solutions.
But you just don't want to accept it.
What's your answer?
Any one of these gentlemen.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No.
Anybody can come in and be better than Jared Goff.
Bring them in. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to be better than Jared Goff. I'm telling if Ben
that's
Johnson's
what we
here,
want. We want better, don't we?
Yes. You want better as a football team. Right? I mean, that's
so
who
are you going to bring in that's better than Jared Goff?
I would literally bring in anybody. You have 1 year of them to say.
Name a name.
CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker. I'll take them all, baby. I'll take any single one of them. Anthony Richardson.
This is where you lose credibility because
why do I lose credibility?
Because you're talking out your ass.
Hold on. Jalen Hurts, the second-round pick, was supposed to be better than anybody. He was a poop thrower coming out of the draft. Sam Flannel, you spoke on that yesterday.
But you want to spend first-round draft capital on CJ Stroud.
Again, Anthony Richardson in the second round. Hendon Hooker, I don't care. Any of them. When you have that rookie quarterback, the odds are in your favor. I'm not talking about rookie quarterback. I apologize. Quarterback on a rookie deal. The odds are in your favor. Look at Jalen Hurts this year, a second-round pick.
The odds are not in your favor.
Huh?
Mitch
the odds are not in my favor. Jalen Hurts is about to win an MVP. Mitch Trubisky won playoff games in the division on a rookie deal.
That's fine.
It was time to re-up him. They were like, you know what? He's not good enough to re-up.
How did that work out for the Bears?
They did better than the Detroit Lions.
They traded up. They used a ton of draft capital to get a guy that's no longer their quarterback.
Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, freaking the list goes on and on and on. Like it's all about the team.
Baker Mayfield, Zach Wilson.
The Browns won a playoff game. Listen, think about how bad Baker Mayfield is, and maybe that's more of a bias than anything else. I can't really say that. I don't think he's good. How about that? But Baker Mayfield won a playoff game because guess what? The Browns were able to do on that rookie deal. Surround him with beautiful talent. It's a team game, Stick. I'm not telling you.
Do you want a playoff win or do you want a Super Bowl?
I want a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And history tells you, facts tell you, the odds are in your favor when Jared Goff is your quarterback. And I don't get how we're currently Detroit Lions. What's the record, Stick?
7-8.
Is that above 500?
No.
Are they in the playoffs?
They're in the playoff hunt.
Are they in the playoffs?
They're in the playoff hunt.
So why are we dick riding this man so hard? Sorry, I don't know if I can say. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I apologize. But why are we like riding this narrative so hard when it hasn't even taken you anywhere promising yet?
Because there's an old saying, and as the old man here at Woodward Sports, let me educate you youth. 2 in the hand is better than 4 in the bush. And that means what you have proven is better than what could be. You're guaranteeing me that the next guy you bring in is going to be better than Goff. I'm telling you, with the top 5 offense in the league, how much more improvement are you looking for?
So I'm not even necessarily telling you the person's going to be better than Goff.
Then why do it?
I'm telling you the football team is going to be better than it is right now with Jared Goff because you can afford more people around them. It's a team game.
I agree. It is a team game, and I agree that $30 million for a top 5 quarterback is probably a steal.
He's not top 5 right now.
He is statistically.
I don't think he is statistically. Maybe in the month of December, yes.
And November.
Maybe in
half the season.
Maybe in
and then in the first part of the season, they led the
yes.
league in air. He led the league in air yards, and they led the league in scoring. And they're one of it's them and the Kansas City Chiefs that have scored more than 30 points 7 times this year. Only them. So.
And here's
I'm confused. What isn't good enough about our offense?
What do you mean what's not good enough? It's not. I'm telling you, it's the quarterback on a rookie deal. The team benefits when you get that quarterback on a rookie deal. And let me ask you this: this Jared Goff guy that you speak of this year, that your knight in shining armor, where was he last year before Ben Johnson was involved with the offense?
He was probably the worst quarterback in the league.
So do you think this is Jared? Like, do you think this is more?
No, but I think when you find a guy that fits what you're doing,
is the success of this offense more indicative of the performance of Jared Goff or the genius that everybody, more than just inside this town, Zach Taylor, the Super Bowl head coach, said it too. He would hire Ben Johnson in a heartbeat. Is it more indicative to Ben Johnson at offensive line or the phenomenal performances of Jared Goff?
I'm going to pull a Neil rule. Both things can be true. Sometimes a system needs a guy, and these two men together like this.
Yeah.
And why would I break that up?
So if you have a guy as a prospect, and I'm talking about any of these rookies that anyone personally feels about, or Brad Holmes specifically, thinks, okay, this kid has a better arm. They still have this offensive line in front of him, or this kid at least run in trouble and stuff like that.
Jamarcus Russell had the best arm I've ever seen. He threw the ball 70 yards from his knee.
I'll tell you this.
Number 1 overall pick. How'd that work out?
That's all right. Jamarcus
Ryan Leaf, number 2 overall pick, supposedly better than Peyton Manning. How did that turn out?
Did Jamarcus Russell have Ben Johnson this offensive line?
Does that matter?
Yes, it does, because
I'm talking about
Ben Johnson, this offensive line, is making Jared Goff look damn good. And a Super Bowl winning head coach and a very smart man, Sean McVay, said he wasn't good enough.
So why address a need you don't have to address?
It's not. It's a need if you truly want to win, is what I'm saying. Like if
they are winning.
They're not winning, Stick. They're 7-8.
They were 6-2 in their last 8 games. That's winning.
What's the record right now? Is it above 500?
No, but they're 6-2 in their last 8 games. Is that trending up?
Are they in the playoffs?
Is that trending up? Are they trending up?
You tell me they're winning now.
Are they trending up?
That's not the case.
Yes or no? Are they trending up?
I don't know.
Then you don't watch football.
I do watch football.
Then admit where you're wrong and tell me they're trending up.
I can say they're trending up, but can you admit where you're wrong and then say they're not winning now?
What?
Can you admit where you're wrong and say they're not winning now? The record is below 500?
Below 500, but they're above what was projected this year. Correct.
So
with 2 games to go.
Here's like the one other thing too, for like the people who freak out when we have this conversation, is you still have Jared Goff next year regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like you could still draft a guy, have him ready to go. And then if Jared Goff, Brad Holmes has been open about this too on the Rich Eisen show. We've had very transparent conversation with Jared Goff, and if we've seen an opportunity to upgrade, we're going to take it. But he's going to have every opportunity to compete for the job, and that's just how that's the way it works in the NFL. That's what happened with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes, and so on and so forth. You've seen it so many times.
Not so on and so forth. There's very few examples
I could go so on and so
the
forth.
surrogate quarterback being drafted at the right time. There's very few examples of it. Patrick Mahomes, perfect example of it, and I will give you that.
How about the Brett Favre? Brett Favre won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Brett Favre was a legend, became legend in Green Bay, and they drafted Aaron Rodgers. And how'd they do when they drafted Jordan Love? Now Jordan Love, give me the Jordan Love. Well, how's that working out?
There's
probably a very handsome 40-ish-year-old man in the town of Green Bay at that time was like, why would we get rid of Brett Favre when he's won a Super Bowls? Why would
how's Jordan
here
Love
comes Aaron
working out?
Rodgers, discount double check, get you a Super Bowl, couple MVPs, and the successful seasons. Like it's just the way it goes. The list goes on and on.
How's Jordan Love working out now?
We haven't got to see what Jordan Love's worked out as.
Because they wasted a first-round pick. Would you agree that they wasted a first-round pick on Jordan Love?
I can't say. Honest to God's sake, there's no type of bias. You can't. It'd be unfair to say that.
Yes,
we haven't seen this kid.
Yes, you can. And that's part of it. You used a first-round draft pick, and you've never played him. That's a waste.
That's not a waste if he's going to end up being your future franchise quarterback. Was it a waste when they did it with Aaron Rodgers?
So you're telling me that they're going to have to sign him beyond his rookie deal for him to be effective?
Yeah, and you get him on a discount.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's not for him to be effective. If Aaron Rodgers leaves now, he's effective next year.
Jordan Love looked pretty good when he played.
He did this year.
You got trigger fingers in the back, or Twitter fingers in the back, Spence, on your speakeasy comment section. Of course, the heavyweights roll together.
Sam will tell you
they're
too.
a circle jerk of Jared Goff hate, and that's okay. But first, we got to go to break. We're talking about Michigan coming up next. Easy, I love when you pop in the studio for this type of conversation.
We haven't done this in a minute.
No, and I love it, man. And I know you guys won't have me on your show because I'll destroy
You're always welcome. You're always welcome to get double teamed on the heavyweights.
Pause. Tell about the lobster food truck, which sounds delicious right now. Happy New Year, Easy. Hope you guys have a great show. Heavyweights on from 5 to 7.
I got you. Woodward Sports loves lobster, and what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit right now, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power through your day. And I can tell you right now, up until 7:30, they will be out in Belleville and the Westlands right now, so go and check them out. But go to cousinsmainelobster.com to also find their schedule. You can also scan that QR code as well, or download the app and you can order ahead for some reward points. Cousin Made Lobster, give them a try.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
That was a fun little debate.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Swiss Insurance and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding, but comes with great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or a volunteer coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. Call Swiss Insurance today and go blue.
Yo, what's going on, brother? That was WoodwardSports.com. As you can see, Stick and Flannel Sam. I'm walking down the tarmac. I'm getting on the plane. I'm getting excited. It is Michigan versus TCU. Michigan's first, I think, real opportunity of getting a W in the playoff system. They'll be the first team to beat all 3 teams outside themselves in the playoffs. They already beat Ohio State. They'll beat TCU, and then obviously if they see Georgia National Championship beat Georgia, that'll be the clean sweep, first time it's ever happened. I'm excited. I think Michigan fans are excited too, but they're just chill right now. They're very chill. I guarantee when I land in Phoenix, things will be a lot different. They're going to turn it up a notch. So I'm excited. I'm en route, Minneapolis, then Phoenix. Here we go, man. WoodwardSports.com. Sport Brother Network checking in. Back to you guys, Stick, Flannel Sam. Yo,
Hey, there we go. Oh, no. Attaboy, Fletch. Shout out to Braylon Edwards in the airport. I think it was in Minneapolis, flying to Phoenix. I mean, I don't know why Braylon doesn't get a nonstop flight.
Say it's Braylon Edwards.
That's Braylon F. and Edwards. But no, he is on his way to Phoenix. Glendale, Arizona is where Michigan will be taking on TCU tomorrow. It says here 3 p.m., but I think kickoff's at 4, right? 4 p.m. The State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. It's going to be on ESPN. Michigan minus 7.5, according to FanDuel. Flannel Sam, you're probably the biggest Michigan fan here outside of Ryan Ermanni. I'm not counting Braylon as a Michigan fan because he's actually part of the Michigan lore. Ermanni graduated, but he didn't play ball. So how are you feeling going into this game tomorrow?
I am feeling as confident as I could possibly feel going into a college football playoff game. And I think the reason is because I've seen this team play all year. I love this team. I think they are truly a great team. But it also speaks more to the fact that I don't think TCU is that great. I think that they sort of stole some game, like grabbed victory out of the jaws of defeat, and they sort of backed their way in, even though they lost the Big 12 championship. And I have some numbers to back that up. So
you always do,
yes,
man. I love it.
TCU and Michigan's offense are both good. Michigan's defense is elite. TCU's defense blows. Yes. Michigan is 5th in the nation.
Don't get too technical with us, Sam.
Yes. Michigan's defense is 5th in the nation in scoring and points allowed. TCU's is 57th. Michigan is 3rd in the nation in rushing yards allowed per game. TCU is 64th. Michigan is 22nd in the nation in passing yards allowed per game. TCU is 82nd.
Yeesh.
Michigan is 3rd in the nation in yards allowed per game. TCU is 73rd. And I know that possessions can kind of account for some of it, but my point is that the gap between Michigan's defense and TCU's defense is so large, and Michigan's offense with that offensive line, with Donovan Edwards, with J.J. McCarthy, I think that they're just going to wear this TCU defense to shreds. And I think Michigan will be able to get some stops, and TCU will not. Michigan is bringing back Mike Morris. They have a Yabioki, Michael Barrett, guys like Will Johnson in the secondary. They have 11 players with at least 2 sacks. 11. They have more team sacks this season than last year, a team with Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo. And just some more numbers on this TCU defense. So the most points that Michigan ever allowed in a season this year, 27. TCU has allowed more than 27 in a game 7 times. They gave up 34 to an SMU team that hasn't been good since the days of Eric Dickerson and Craig James. And you know why SMU was so good back then? Because they cheated so bad that the program got the death penalty. If some of you young players don't know that literally, some of you young guys don't know that literally happened. They gave up 31 points to Kansas, who had a losing record. They gave up 40 points to Oklahoma State, who had a losing conference record. They gave up 31 to West Virginia, who had a losing record. And they gave up 31 to Kansas State, who actually beat them in the Big 12 title game. That's a pretty good team. And they gave up 28 to Baylor, who, guess what, had a losing record. Michigan is built for this. They're built to punish, and TCU is soft. I respect TCU's offense. I respect Max Duggan. I respect Quentin Johnson. I respect their running back, but, man, they can't handle the physicality, TCU. They've never played a team like this. They've never played a defense like Michigan, and I expect Michigan to just inflict punishment and wear TCU down as the game goes on, like they've done pretty much the whole year.
Yeah, my biggest fear with TCU, and shout out to Braylon Edwards joining us in the WoodwardSports.com chat from his flight. So if you guys got any questions for Braylon about the Michigan game, drop them in the chat. I'm sure he will get involved there. My biggest fear for TCU is they lead the nation in plays over 40 yards, over 30 yards. Yeah. They're a big play offense.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
And that's the type of offense you can never count out either.
Of course.
Even if Michigan builds a 21-point lead going into the second half, TCU is strike fast, strike hard, no mercy. They're almost Cobra Kai when it comes to offense. Now, flip side of that coin, their defense, you're right, it's a sieve.
It is a sieve.
And they've never gone up against a team like Michigan. They've never dealt with linemen that across the board are bigger than anybody that they have. They've never gone up against a running back like Donovan Edwards, who to me is the X factor in everything Michigan does for the next 2 years.
100%.
Even when Braylon and I were at the Michigan game when they played Penn State, Donovan Edwards kind of had a bust-out game later in that second half. We discussed, it's crazy that Blake Corum is up for a Heisman, but Donovan Edwards is a better running back.
Donovan Edwards is the most talented skill position player that I've seen at Michigan since Braylon Edwards. I think Donovan Edwards' ceiling is that high. And not only that, he's coming off of, in my opinion, the greatest 2-game stretch any Michigan running back has ever had, rushing for over 200 at Ohio State, including touchdown runs of 75 and 85, and then having 185 in the Big Ten championship game against Purdue. And he's running behind that offensive line, which is elite, which was elite last year, and even better this year, adding a guy like Olu Oluwatimi, who, transferring in from Virginia, has become the best center in all of college football. I know that because he won the Remington Award. He's an NFL-level player. So just the physicality of Michigan, I just think will give TCU so many problems. And that 3-3-5 defense, how the hell do you think you're going to stop the run running something like that? That's what Rich Rod ran.
Don't even bring up that name. Rich Rod, not to say he did some good things, but he had some decent recruits. Let's say that way. But that's more of the Michigan helmet than Rich Rod himself. That's going to be the adjustment. To me, the game is going to be decided on what Michigan's offense can do to that 3-3-5 defense, and can Michigan stop those big plays. And it's said that, TCU has the athletes. They got some wide receivers that were like 4th in the nation in high school in running track. It's going to be a track meet. But I think what people underestimate about the Michigan cornerbacks is not only are they physical, not only can they block, they're pretty damn fast too.
Hell yeah, Will Johnson.
Yes.
That guy is a dude. I compared him on the heavyweights to, I think he has, just as a corner, he's a freshman now, a Charles Woodson level ceiling. And everybody said I was crazy, but I don't think I am crazy. He's already the best corner on the team right now. He's a guy that I think can slow down a TCU wide receiver like Quentin Johnson, who is elite. Quentin Johnson is the one guy on that team that gives me a little bit of trepidation, I would say, because we saw Michigan go up against Purdue and that offense led by Aiden O'Connell. And their wide receiver, Charlie Jones, he carved Michigan's secondary up. He had 13 receptions for 162 yards. That being said, I think Quentin Johnson and Max Duggan could go off and have a game like that, and Michigan still wins because TCU doesn't get any stops. I'm not saying that TCU can't win or that I'm guaranteeing a Michigan win. I just think it would take sort of unforced errors by Michigan, sort of an outer space level game by TCU. I don't think TCU can win this game straight up. I think we agree with that. Michigan they're too big, they're too talented, they're too physical. I think TCU is going to wilt.
Yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh has done a great job of cultivating this, especially over the past 2 years.
Yep.
After the COVID season when they were 2-4 and everybody wanted to throw them out the window, dude,
myself included.
And you know what? And like going back to that conversation with Eazy, and that's where Jim Harbaugh, Jim Caldwell, and Jared Goff to me are all in the same boat. People wanted them gone well before their time. We gave Jim Harbaugh enough time to prove that he's a winner, and look what he's done. He has reestablished Michigan to heights that they haven't maybe ever seen.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh has rewarded Michigan's faith in them, which was kind of, I mean, he had to take a pay cut, but still, they allowed him to remain.
He didn't have to.
Well, but he volunteered to do
He volunteered. And now Michigan should open up that checkbook and say, you've delivered now. Here's the payment, and here's your retroactive from when you took that pay cut. But Jim Caldwell, another example. Guy had 4 years in Detroit. Took the Lions to the playoffs 2 times in 4 years. The best winning percentage of all time for a Lions head coach in the regular season. Lost those 2 playoff games, I'll admit that. Did not win his division, I'll admit that. But to me, it's because he didn't get enough time.
I mean, and you'll never know with Jim Caldwell, but the guy they hired after him was obviously a disaster. With Jim Harbaugh, you see that rewarding him with, letting him stay around has really, I mean, it's paid off. They've won.
But that's why I throw it back on Eazy when he says Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. Then who's going to be better? Because that was my question to Jim Harbaugh haters. Who are you bringing in after Jim Harbaugh that's better? And I could never get an answer. Just like I cannot get an answer on who's going to be better than Jared Goff. I don't know. Everybody? That's not a real answer. That's a BS lie, and you know it. And so that's what I'm afraid of. I don't like throwing these guys out when I can see the road map happening. Let's talk a little bit about SMA, then we'll get more back into some Michigan talk because I want to stay on Jim Harbaugh. Sure. I don't want to take the lazy route out and say that Jim Harbaugh is leaving, but I do want to discuss Jim Harbaugh's future.
Sure.
And I still want to discuss more of that Michigan game coming up next right here on woodwardsports.com. But tell about SMA.
All right. The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
What's going on, everybody? JB here, talking to you about the Monroe Street Midway one more time. They have swapped out the roller skating, the basketball, the mini golf for the giant Arctic slide, the winter bumper cars, the indoor arcade, and check this out, puck putt. I don't know what this game is, but I have to try it out. I have to play this game. I have to go down there, and it's free to get into the site. And remember, you can go down there and enjoy so many activities created to make an amazing winter experience for everyone. But of course, if all those things aren't for you, they have food down there as well. They're serving up burgers, pierogies, homemade chili, chicken sandwiches, mac and cheese bites, and of course they have gluten-free and vegan options as well. But coming soon, it's the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics. You'll be able to compete with the likes of Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Adam Baydoun, Ryan Ermanni. Unfortunately, Stick is sitting this one out. He said, you guys, he's not taking on competitors.
Just want to make it fair for the normal people, not us super athletes.
I know. The heavyweights will be down there as well, and trust me, you don't want to see them on that slide either, so you might want to watch out for that as well. But the whole Woodward Sports family will be down there for the Monroe Street Midway Games. So check it out at deckedoutdetroit.com for all your winter fun.
Thank you, JB. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz live on woodwardsports.com and fox2detroit.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni. Flannel Sam on the stage with me today. Got JB, got Adam Morrissey in here, and of course, we have Fletch. Still, Eazy cannot take an L. He is still in the chat trying to come up with the dumb things he's just repeating what he said, and he still hasn't given a guy who's better than Jared Goff in the chat. He hasn't. He just keeps saying, Patrick Mahomes worked with Alex Smith. It's like, yeah, okay, there's one example that's nice. Oh, well, Tom Brady, they didn't draft Tom Brady to replace Drew Bledsoe. I know you were like a fetus at that point, but maybe you don't understand how that worked out. He was a 6th-round pick.
He was a 6th-round
Bledsoe
pick.
got injured. They weren't planning on replacing him. That wasn't the go-to. Just this is why you blow your credibility when you play dumb stuff. But either way, back on the Michigan game, I got on my jersey right here. It's a personalized jersey because I don't wear grown men's name on my back, but you can see the stick right there. Oh, there it is. There it is. Shout out to Michigan. Shout out to Jim Harbaugh for giving us this jersey when he first got into town. It was very nice of his PR team. I seriously doubt Jim Harbaugh had anything to do with it, but I like to claim that he did. Jim Harbaugh, obviously, that's who we've been talking about. I hate taking the lazy way out, but do you think Jim Harbaugh will ever go back to the pros? If he gets a national championship for Michigan, do you think it's mission accomplished? I can move on?
I mean, if he gets a national championship, if he brings Michigan a national championship, I don't care what he does. He can go leave. I will say, job well done. You've done everything that you could do for this program. That being said, I think his window of being an NFL coach is kind of closing. The way that the NFL is moving towards that young, innovative coach. Jim Harbaugh is not that. But at the same time, he has proven that he is one of the best football coaches, pro and college, in the country. So, I'm a little bit worried, but at the same time, if you're Jim Harbaugh, I truly believe that already, and this is going to sound crazy, but I don't think it can be argued, Jim Harbaugh is the greatest football figure in the history of Michigan. Both when you combine
bigger than Bo?
Yes,
because of his playing career.
Because of his playing career. Because when he was playing at Michigan in the '80s, he became, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback in school history, and is still the greatest quarterback in school history. He was third in the Heisman in 1986. He was a first-round draft pick, which no other Michigan quarterback has done. And as a coach, he kind of started off a little bit slow, but he did stabilize the program. But what he has done in the last 2 years, winning 2 Big Ten titles, going to 2 college football playoffs, winning a home game against Ohio State, and then winning at Columbus for the first time since 2000. I'd say all of that combined, he is already the greatest sports football figure in the history of Michigan. But what Jim Harbaugh can become, and I hope that he understands this, I think he's a couple more great years away from becoming not only the greatest quarterback in school history, but the greatest head coach in school history. If he can get Michigan a national championship, if he can get Michigan a couple more Big Ten titles, how can you not say that? He will have a statue built of him where it should replace Bo's, honestly. Like, that would be... I don't think he understands how much of a legend that he could become at Michigan, and I think
he totally does, and I think that's why he went to Michigan. Honestly, like, he knew Bo Schembechler was his mentor.
Yes,
that is somebody that he always aspired to be like, and I think it's part of his mission not to overshadow Bo, but at least make Bo proud.
Oh, well, he certainly
and
has.
That's what he's doing right now.
Yep.
And I don't know Jim Harbaugh personally. I don't know if he's a sentimental guy, but he seems like it when he's talking about history, when he's talking about lore, when he's talking about legacy.
Mm-hmm.
He understands the gravity of what he's doing to Michigan because he felt it when Bo was there.
Yes.
He understands the legacy that he's leaving behind, what he's doing with these young players, and how they're going to look back and respect him like he did Bo for such a long period of time. So that type of emotional attachment, you can't buy it.
Nope.
You can't fake it. You can't force it. And the only other team I could see him leaving Michigan for is the Indianapolis Colts.
And they're going to have a coaching vacancy. He played there, but I don't see the Colts being an attractive job at the moment. They're kind of a mess. Whereas at Michigan, like I said and like you said, the legend that he could become, the legend that he already is like I said, the greatest football figure in Michigan history, and he's on track to becoming the greatest coach in Michigan football history. And I think the thing that I'm most, I don't want to sound patronizing, but kind of proud of when it comes to Jim Harbaugh, and I think you mentioned that in one of your articles about him, is that after 2020, things were looking pretty bleak. He volunteered to take a pay cut.
Yep.
He did what he needed to do and fired his friend and Don Brown, their defensive coordinator. He looked himself in the mirror and adjusted. He didn't just ram his head against the wall. He saw that I'm a legend at Michigan, but that legend is diminishing because I'm not getting the job done as a coach. And the last 2 years, he has completely turned it around into becoming the 4th best coach in the country, like right up there with like the top tier coaches. So just the fact that he was able to do that, the fact that when presented with a situation that isn't working, he's able to adjust. I can't think of more great things to say about Jim Harbaugh. I'm so glad he's our coach, whereas a few years ago, I was ready to get him out of town. But you know what? I would have been wrong.
Patience.
The
word that Adam Baydoun hates. Patience.
What do they say? Like, patience, my pet, or whatever.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, and it goes back to who would you have brought in to do a better job than Harbaugh was doing? Because when Harbaugh got brought in, he led them to a 10-win season.
Yes,
that hadn't been done in many years. He reestablished the floor. That's the most important thing that I think people overlook. They look at the ceiling, but they never think about what the floor is established with, and that's always going to be my argument, once again, to bring him up, Jim Caldwell. The Lions' floor was 9-7. Floor.
Yeah.
And that may not be good enough to win the division. That may not be good enough to win a playoff game, but it's a good enough base that you can grow from.
And I understand that.
And when you set the floor, reestablish the floor, the ceiling can be as high as you want it because you know where your floor is. And that's what Jim Harbaugh has done in Michigan. The floor now for them is a 9-win season,
and now
at minimum.
And now the ceiling is a national championship. You never know what the ceiling would have been with Jim Caldwell if it would have eventually been Super Bowl. But I understand your argument with him. I think he should have gotten more time. I don't feel as strongly about him as you, but I understand your argument.
And that's the way I feel about Jared Goff. Our floor is a top 10 quarterback right now. That's a great floor to have.
10 to 12. I won't split hairs.
Okay.
I won't split hairs.
I'll go 12 quarterback with you. That's a great floor to have.
Upper half quarterback.
That's a great floor
who already
to
has
have.
which I think is underrated, connection, like sort of almost like a spiritual connection, throwing the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's turned into a top 10 wide receiver.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with the quarterback.
Nothing to do with all Ben Johnson, who I love, by the way, who I love. But
that's the thing.
Yes.
Sometimes things just work and things just click together. It doesn't have to be the greatest. It just has to be what works in that specific style, and that's Jared Goff right now. JB, tell us a little bit about Foley Warehouse, but coming up next, everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat, we are going to discuss the year in 2022 and all of our favorite Detroit sports memories. So if you got one, drop it in the chat right now. We want to discuss it. I got my 5. I know you got your 5. But first, JB, tell us about the Foley Warehouse.
I gotcha. The Foley Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 ways to play: $12 unlimited open play, or you can reserve a lane for you and up to 10 people for $120. They got the $2 mystery beer machine and full bars. Check them out maybe this weekend while Michigan plays. You never know. But give them a try. Get your foal on at Foley Warehouse and FoleyWarehouse.com.
We here at Woodward Sports would like to thank everybody who helped us stuff our studio. The 3rd annual Stuff a Studio was a major success, thanks in part to our partners at Guardian Alarm and Myers Stores for making it all possible. And of course, we couldn't do it without our community leaders and viewers like you. Thank you for dropping off toys to our studio that were taken to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor so every sick child could have a happy holiday.
We are incredibly grateful for Woodward Sports, Guardian Alarm, and Meyer for making the holidays so special for our patients and families.
So what we do is try to bring some normalcy to their lives at this time. This is a labor of love. It brings so much joy, and not just for the families and for the children, but for our staff.
Thank you.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Planet Fitness is home to the judgment-free zone, where with memberships starting as low as $10 a month. Yeah, only $10. Join in club today or online at planetfitness.com. But also remember, Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live from Planet Fitness on Eureka Road in Southgate all day Friday, January 6th. That is the first Friday of the new year. If you're bad at dates like me, you know, I got to know when. But you'll be able to meet Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and the rest of the Woodward Sports team. Plus, we're giving chances to win tickets to see Joel Embiid, James Harden, and the 76ers take on the Detroit Pistons on January 8th. Not to mention, there will be free pizza for all from 12 to 3 p.m. It's Planet Fitness.
Essential.
Your fitness is essential. Welcome back to WoodwardSports.com and Fox2Detroit.com. Thank you for being a part of the show today. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni, Flannel Sam on the stage, JB, Adam, and Fletch in here. I can't believe we only got 15 minutes left of the last show of 2022. So let's get into it, Sam. Yes. Right away, top 5 Detroit sports moments of 2022. What are yours, my friend?
Okay, so I'm going to start with number 5, Miguel Cabrera's 3,000th hit. He's obviously a legend in the city. He's one of the greatest hitters of all time. He's kind of fallen on some hard times being a little bit old and past his prime, but still seeing him get his 3,000th hit, that is something that very few hitters have done. So that was special. Number 4, I know that I trashed this man to hell on Big D Energy earlier, but last year when Hunter Dickinson scored 33 points and had 9 rebounds in a 87-70 win at home versus Michigan State, and was also trash-talking Tom Izzo the whole time, I loved it. It was just one of those games where I just really loved to see it, and that was the game where I thought that Hunter Dickinson would turn out to be sort of that superstar, and this year he's fallen off. But back then, back then, and I love the Tom Izzo ish talk because I hate Tom Izzo with the fire of 1,000 suns, as every Michigan fan.
Fire of 1,000 suns.
As every Michigan fan should. I don't get why guys like Ryan Ermanni.
Shakespearean hate.
I don't get why guys like Ryan Ermanni just kind of over Tom Izzo. You're a Michigan fan. Hate that man. Okay. Number three, and this just happened recently. Jake Wallman scores the game-winning goal in overtime at the Pittsburgh Penguins to win 5-4 and even dropped a pretty smooth gritty afterwards. And the reason I chose that one was because this is a Red Wings team that early on looked like they were in playoff contention and then went on a pretty bad 6-game losing streak. And then they followed that with a win at home against Tampa Bay, which is huge. And then a comeback down 4-0 to Pittsburgh, a team that had Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. They come back, they send the game to overtime, and then they win in overtime. Mm-hmm. That's the type of win that can kind of take your season to being a playoff team, and that was so huge for them. Number 2, and everybody loved this moment. How about Brock Wright's 51-yard touchdown catch and run to put the Lions up 20-17 at New York against the Jets? That was just one of those drives that the Lions needed to have. They'd given up the lead, and they went and got it right back with a beautifully designed play, a throw by Jared Goff, and a run by Brock Wright. And
a dime by Jared Goff that nobody else could make.
All right, Stick. Now I'm going to start to turn into Eazy. That was that. I could have made that throw. JB could have made that throw.
But you didn't. You know who did? Jared effing Goff made that throw.
Made that throw. That was more Ben Johnson and Brock Wright, but still he had to get there. And it was a 4th down, by the way. And that was a game.
Jared Goff misses that pass. You're blaming him. He makes the pass, he gets no credit. I don't like that.
Anybody can make that throw. But anywho, I'm not gonna try to diminish that because that was such an important play in the season. And without that, the Lions lose, and we're not talking them being in the playoff contention. Absolutely no playoffs if that play didn't happen. And how about number 1, to the surprise of absolutely no one, Donovan Edwards' 85-yard touchdown run to put Michigan up 45-23 to seal that game. In the words of Gus Johnson, Donovan Edwards, anyone gonna catch him? No! Beautiful.
How good did that feel?
Better than sex. 100%.
You're doing sex wrong.
But you know what? You're not. I am not doing sex wrong, by the way.
You're doing it wrong.
I am not doing it wrong. I'm not going to go there. But it was Michigan going into Columbus, the first time winning there since 2000.
Pretty phenomenal.
And if any of you guys don't know, I know you guys all do in the studio. I am a Michigan fan more than anyone else.
Yes.
I love them more than the Lions. I love them more than the Tigers, the Red Wings, the Pistons, Michigan basketball. Michigan football is the team that I just go psychotic on when they lose and am euphoric when they win. So that was just so huge for me. What about you, Stick? I'm interested to see your list.
Well, that's part of the reason we did this show too, with you, because it's before the Michigan game, and we know you're the biggest Michigan fan outside of Braylon and Ryan that sit up here, so we had to get it in. Let's talk about my top 5 moments. Not as dialed in as yours. Mine are pretty generic, and honestly, these aren't in any specific order. I just sent 5 to Fletch. Miggy's 3,000th hit.
Yeah, you got it.
Anytime you witness history, you got to remember it, right? 500 home runs last year, 3,000th hit this year. It was fantastic. Lions draft day this year. We threw a party at the Brass Rail, packed that thing out. It was full of people. The libations were flowing. I got to be on during the 12th pick when the Lions traded up and got ourselves a guy named Jamison Williams. They also knocked it out of the park with their 2nd overall pick, which we pretty much knew they would.
Yes.
And they got Aiden Hutchinson there. What a fun time. Our draft party this year, I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but just know whenever Woodward Sports is throwing a specialty party, You guys should be there.
Oh, yeah.
Our Super Bowl party is going to be at a gentleman's club, I believe.
Oh.
And I will get you that information later. But free prime rib. They're going to put a 60-foot TV across the stage. It's going to be a good time. Number 3, landing Ivy and Duran.
That's a good one.
Now, when this happened, I was jacked about Jaden Ivey.
Sure.
Like, I love what that guy brings. I have not seen an athlete in a Pistons uniform like him since Grant Hill, to be honest with you.
It's not crazy.
I haven't. Those are just what my eyes tell me. But throughout the course of this season, watching Duran progress, he had 18 rebounds last game.
Yeah, he's
blocks, controls the lane, had Killian's back during that fight.
He did.
To me, that is becoming the steal of that draft.
We're happy with both of them so far.
Yes.
They've both shown enough so that we can look at them as cornerstones of this team when they're ready to win. And that's all you want on draft day. So that was a big day, too.
Sider winning the Rookie of the Year.
Huge.
Another monumental moment for the Detroit Red Wings. The Yzer plan in full effect. I'm sitting in D-Mac's chair right now.
1919.
And you got to believe in Yzerman. The
100%.
Yzer plan, baby. I love it. And then I'm with you. Michigan beating Ohio State. I am not a Michigan fan as I sit here in a Michigan jersey, but this was gifted to me. I've said it a million times on this network. I don't have a dog in the fight with Michigan and Michigan State. I partied my ass off at Michigan State when I was young. A lot of great memories there. My first crush ever was on my 3rd grade teacher, who was a Michigan cheerleader. Had very fond memories of Michigan there as well. Mrs. Silva, I still love you to this day. You were bad. Hey, yo. If you would have seen this girl, she taught us the fight song when I was in 3rd grade. Still love her for that. During that game, I actually got nervous rooting for Michigan.
Yeah.
And I don't usually have that emotional attachment to a Michigan team. If they win, they lose, whatever, I'll deal with the fans. And it's not like the Lions for me. I live and die with the Lions. Mm-hmm. That Michigan game, I felt like I was a part of. My heart was pounding during that game, and it's rare I get that feeling during a Michigan game. It was a special moment beating OSU.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And especially how much I hate Ohio State.
I mean, it's got to be embarrassing for Ohio State to go an entire year knowing that they got punked in 2021 and saying, like, it's going to be different this time. We're more physical this time. We're more tough this time. And they get beat even worse at home the year after. It was great to just kind of see them just wilt, their manhood get taken away, them getting punched in the mouth, and pucker, kind of like Ryan Day's teams have kind of shown.
2 years in a row, they quit.
They quit.
And when you beat the brakes off someone to the point where they quit, I love that.
Oh, it's beautiful to watch. When there's at the end, there's just no doubt. You're just happy as hell. And that was, and early on in the game, it wasn't looking so great. And to think that Michigan would not only win, but it turned into a blowout at the end. It turned into a game where it was closed out by the Mariano.
It was a perfect game.
The Mariano Rivera of the day, Donovan Edwards.
It was a perfect game.
Yep.
Perfect game.
Yes.
So those are my top 5 Detroit sports memories of 2022. If you got yours, please drop them in the chat right now. Seeing some people, Aiden getting drafted. Aiden Hutchin as a Heisman finalist was one of them. Miggy 3000, Michigan beat Ohio State. Adam commenting on that right now. The great memories from 2022. A decent sports year for Detroit. Detroit is trending up.
Yes.
It's been fun this year.
It's a lot of building blocks. I mean, you see progress with teams like the Lions and the Red Wings. They actually both have chances at a winning record. It was a building block year, and for Michigan football, this is a golden age right now. We're living in it. So I'm going into 2022, if I would have known that all of this would happen, I would have been like, yeah, good year.
All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions and which each team should have going into 2023. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Les Stanford. If you're looking for a new vehicle going into the new year, Les Stanford is the place to go. Not only are they the lease experts, where if you're in a lease right now, they can get you out of it and get you into a brand new car. They got the newest of cars, too, that new Corvette. Or they got great deals on all the Chevys that you want. Les Stanford in Dearborn. Find new roads. Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
at work, and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
At Alta. Uptime matters.
Get it up. It matters.
Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Once again, that's the 844-GO, the number 2, as what says, Alta.
Joey 2 times in the WoodwardSports.com chat. The DMAC fight anniversary was a big moment for Woodward Sports. That was a fun night at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak, and then you saw ESPN do Unrivaled, using some of our footage, put the Woodward Sports logo on there. If you watch Unrivaled, the first 30 seconds is me doing a mic test. You hear me going, mic check, Darren McCarty, Claude Lemieux, mic check, and you see my hand enter and turn up the volume on the board. So I made it on ESPN, which was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. You see my hand holding up the mic, asking questions in the crowd. That was a great moment, watching Claude Lemieux and Darren McCarty sit on the same stage and rewatch the fight. Best moment out of that was Claude Lemieux didn't realize he entered the game. He re-entered the game. He thought he got his ass beat, and that was the end of the game. We're watching it. Third period comes up. He's like, wait, am I still playing? Dude didn't even remember he played in the third period of that game.
That's amazing. Maybe DMAC knocked him so senseless that he forgot.
Oh, when he kneed him in the head onto the boards, yeah, kind of knocked him out. But that was also a great memory. We only got about 3 minutes left. I wanted to go over your typical New Year's resolution for each team. I'll run through mine real quick, then Flannel Sam, we will get to yours. New Year's resolutions for each team. For the Pistons, keep that tanking going in this year. It's there. It's right in front of you. That number 1 overall pick. Cade's out for the season. The young guys are growing. Let's see some growth. But at the end of the day, you want that number 1 overall pick. So keep tanking. For the Lions, go undefeated in January.
Okay.
I know 2023, the season will start in August. But let's focus on what's right here in front of us. And the Lions go undefeated in January. That means they're not only getting in the playoffs, they're winning a playoff game.
Yes.
Love that. For the Red Wings, keep following the Eazy plan. You're already doing the right thing. You're on the correct diet. You're getting yourself in shape. You're doing the right things for your body. Don't get off what you've been doing the past 2 years. The Eazy plan is working. And for the Tigers, I'm just going to go basic white girl. New year, new me. Everything got to change. Throw it all out. New year, new me. All the players got to go. All the coaches got to go. All the scouts got to go. New GM in place. Just dumpster fire it all, and let's restart.
Hey, those are, I can't disagree with any of them. I've got kind of a similar list myself. So, Lions, I would say win the NFC North next season. Okay. I like yours as well, but I think that should be the expectation next year because you've already seen the progression from 3 wins to anywhere between 7 and 9. That's an improvement. I want to see them win the NFC North next season. And the Red Wings make the playoffs this year because one of the things that DMAC and Neil and everybody always says is in order for this team to win at a high level, they need that first-line center. It can't be Dylan Larkin. And how you make yourself attractive to free agents is actually make the playoffs, and I think that they can do it. And the Pistons tank for Victor Wembanyama because honestly, with Cade Cunningham missing basically the whole year, it's a lost season. You've seen enough from some of the young guys. Just tank, keep losing. And Tigers, I'm going to go commit to analytics. I want to see guys that get on base. I don't want to see guys like Javier Baez or Jonathan Scope. I want them to commit to analytics, build the team like the 2002 Oakland A's. Get some guys who just get on base. They might not be able to field. They might have, 3 three toes and like half an ass cheek, but they can get on base.
They can get on base. Well, Flannel Sam, thank you for filling in today.
Thank you.
JB, thank you for all you do at the audio booth and all year long. Fletch, you know I love the hell out of you. Adam, I know you don't officially work here, but you are just as big a part of the network as anybody else here, so thank you for all that you do for us throughout the year. Coming up next, 5 to 7, the Jared Goff Hater Show, as we'd like to call them the heavyweights. The Player Haters Ball is coming up. I will see you guys on Monday, or actually Sunday. We will be live from the Brass Rail for the post game, myself and Anson. Hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve. I will be partying at the St. Regis Hotel, hosting that hotel party. So if you're looking for something to do, stop by the party. Come see me. I'll give you a shout out. We can do a shot together. So I'm looking forward to a big 2023. Right. Thank you guys so much for being a part of WoodwardSports.com, Fox2Detroit.com, and everything that we do here. Have a great Friday. Be safe, and we will talk to you later.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.